Fresh breeze in literature. The 1960s were an era of rebellion and resistance against existing culture and authority. Like the rise of rock music during that decade, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest was the rock music of the literary world, overturning the conventions of traditional novel writing. The protagonist who offers the wings of freedom. The protagonist, McMurphy, lives freely in society, causes various incidents that eventually lead to his sentencing to hard labor at a work farm. In an effort to escape, he pretends to be insane and gets admitted to a mental institution where the story begins. In the ward where McMurphy is admitted, the head nurse uses the pretense of treatment to oppress, abuse, and torment the patients. McMurphy stands against the nonsensical dictatorship of the head nurse and starts to rebel with the help of his fellow patients. The rigidly controlled ward, which operated like clockwork under tight schedules, begins to unravel under the whirlwind of McMurphy's actions, transforming into an unpredictable state like a deflated balloon. The noisy and lively ward was far from the suffocating control and rigid conformity the head nurse desired. As a result, McMurphy and the head nurse clash at every turn. McMurphy organizes events previously unimaginable, taking the patients on a fishing trip under the guise of a legitimate outing and even throwing a party in the ward with women he invites. When one of the patients commits suicide after being threatened by the head nurse, McMurphy attacks her in a fit of rage. This leads to him undergoing a lobotomy, leaving him in a vegetative state. However, the breeze of change he brought to the ward emboldens others. Some patients find the courage to request transfers to less oppressive wards, while others manage to leave the hospital entirely. The highlight of the story comes in the final scene, where Chief Bromden, the half-Native American narrator, smothers the vegetative McMurphy with a pillow to set him free. He then escapes from the hospital, breaking through the locked doors and carrying McMurphy's spirit of defiance with him, the spirit of freedom. Most of us, like the narrator of this book, pretend to be deaf and mute in the face of towering forces in our lives. Society often labels those who say no as abnormal. Yet McMurphy, the protagonist, fights against unjust rules and authority in the military, prison, and the hospital. He rebels against anything that stifles freedom. His spirit of rebellion for the sake of freedom remains relevant to this day.